Hey everyone, Mitch coming in from the Command Core Studio. Welcome to the show. So recently I was going through some cards and yeah, with these, oh my goodness, I cannot believe how, well, cheap these are right now. These are absolutely amazing cards that you need to be picking up right now. Let's jump into them. So, first up, Decanter of Endless Water. Now, like me, I mean, you might not, but like me, you might not care what your card really looks like. I mean, one card that has certain art or has other art does the exact same thing, and that is exactly where you can save a lot of money on a card like this. This card is like 2 or 3 times the price elsewhere when it comes to the other versions of the card. I love this version, number one, but even if you don't, yeah, if you like saving money like I do when it comes to a budget deck, or even just a regular deck that has a high budget, you're trying to save some money on it, hey, spend a bit less, because this is an amazing card, just 78 cents for this gem, an artifact for 3 mana, you've got no maximum hand size, tap, add 1 mana of any color. Now, when it comes to inefficient mana rocks, I'm talking about cost 3, taps for 1, typically I am very much against them, except for decks where they make sense if they have extra value to them. Again, no maximum hand size. Certain decks out there can draw an absurd amount of cards and like to keep that giant hand. This can definitely be a worthy include for those decks. So if you've got one of those decks and if you don't care about the art style on it, or you really like this art style like I do, make sure you pick it up. Let's move on to another artifact with Slate of Ancestry, an artifact for 4. It has pay 4, tap, discard your hand, draw a card for each creature you control. This one is just 76 cents right now. This card is absolutely an absurd draw engine for you. Again, if you've got any kind of a creature-based strategy, any kind of a go-wide strategy, you're going to have a good amount of creatures in play. And if you are, say, replacing your hand with 4, 5, 6, 7 plus cards, you can do some pretty absurd things with this. It might just even take one activation of this to literally be like, oh yeah, by the way, I just drew 10 plus cards, basically set myself up to win the game from there. And of course, if you ever need to reset, it's just out there again, and it says, hey, you know what, just 4 mana, repeatable, you know, get rid of your hand, that's fine. Maybe you're down to 2, 3 cards, whatever it is, or you're digging for the right card, go do that. And of course, for a deck especially that can utilize the graveyard as well, wants cards in the graveyard or cares about discarding cards, yeah, you can take even more advantage of this gem. Let's keep things rolling, though, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but Avenger of Zendikar, a card that just forever in my mind has always been like $5+, probably even more so, is now just 74 cents. A 5/5 elemental for 7 mana in green. When it enters, create a 0/1 green plant creature token for each land you control. On top of that landfall, whenever a land you control enters, you get a counter on each plant you control. Yeah, this is a pretty crazy card where, like, yeah, okay, get into play, and all of a sudden the entire board state changes where now I've got the biggest army in play, I've got the most creatures out there, and eventually I'm just going to have the biggest tall-wise too. I'm going to keep adding to them, getting more and more counters on them. Of course, if you can use and abuse ETBs, utilize, you know, doubling effects for the number of counters or number of creatures that you're making, number of creature tokens. There's plenty of ways to take advantage of this, and even just playing it, though, you know, without any of those, essentially, you're gonna have a good time playing this card. It is so good. Make sure you pick it up now at this cheap price. Up next on the list, we've got Devoted Druid, a 0/2 Elf Druid for 2 mana in green. Tap for 8 green, put a -1/-1 counter on it, untap it. Now, this one, I will say, is conditional, but it is super powerful. It is, again, just a mana dork that costs 2 taps for 1. That is technically inefficient when it comes to just tapping for a singular kind of mana, compared to, like, other ones, like Birds of Paradise, obviously. Costs half that much and taps for any color. Cool. Or Llanowar Elves cost half that much and taps for the same color. That being said, obviously, this can actually give you more than 1 mana in a turn if needed, and of course, does combo with plenty of other things as well. So yeah, if you're looking for this as just a high-end card in a combo deck, or just literally like in a, I mean, +1 counter proliferate deck as well, because again, those counters cancel each other out. So yeah, cool, just keep getting counters on it, +1 counters, and you can take out those -1s. You can get a lot of mana advantage out of this, outside of this just being a good card like in an Elf or Druid deck as well that has other synergies with it too. Pick it up. Next up, a card that I think scares some players away, and it shouldn't. This card is absolutely absurd at just 75 cents, a 5/6 god for 4 mana in black. Indestructible. If your devotion to black is less than 5, it's not a creature. Whenever another creature you control dies, you may pay 2 life. If you do, draw a card. By paying 1 a black, sacrifice another creature. Target creature gets -2/-1 until end of turn. Here's the thing with this one. This is a just value card in an aristocrat style or any kind of a sacrifice strategy type deck that is going to stay on the board probably for the entire game. Because, well, it's an enchantment that is indestructible, and sometimes it's a creature, but other times it's not even a creature. So, yeah, Swords of Plowshares, it can dodge that. And also, I mean, sometimes it's kind of funny, actually, where someone might be like, oh, okay, yeah, Swords of Plowshares, your Erebos. You're like, oh, wait, 1 second. I sacrificed my creature that has black pips with my free sacrifice outlet over there. Now it's no longer a creature. Cool. Awesome. Just dodge that. Great. Good for me. Yeah, being able to essentially manipulate when it's a creature, when it's not, just being indestructible is going to be hardy on the board. And of course, this is where players get scared of it, where it's like, oh, okay, I'm okay with paying 1 life for 1 card, but 2? Oh, that's a lot. No, you should be fine with that, especially again when it's a free extra value, where it's just like, hey, did you have any creature you control die, including token creatures as well on top of non-token creatures? Cool. Yeah, draw a card for 2 life. Who cares? Especially if you're in a type of strategy, again, that wants sacrifice creatures. Typically, you have the Blood Artist type effects. Plenty of them out there these days. We're getting more and more each set. You're going to gain that life back, and you're going to be fine. On top of that, this is, I say, like, little, like, mini sacrifice outlet for you, too. It costs a lot of mana to do so, but, like, yeah, you can take some creatures out, or, like, you know, make an attacker be less effective as well. It's a very solid card. Pick it up. Now on to the next one. We've got Tidespout Tyrant, one of my favorite finishers of all time, and also a combo card too. A 5/5 Djinn with flying for 8 mana in total. Whenever you cast a spell, return target permanent to its owner's hand. Now this doesn't have to be a combo card, and yes, it costs an absurd amount of mana, 8. Of course, there are ways to cheat it out, or again, just like in a big mana strategy, you can like, yeah, just ramp a ton because it's fun and get big things out and do crazy things. This is a card, obviously, that also, again, can be a combo engine for yourself, too, because this lets you bounce any target permanent. Not just your opponent's, your own as well. So, yeah, there's some Soul Ring combinations that can give you infinite mana and such. Infinite Storm Count as well. That being said, just, I mean, literally, this can be a game-winning card just by staying in play, and you're like, oh, okay, that player's got something on the board I don't like, bounce it back to your hand. And that was like a 7 mana card for me. It's going to take me forever to recast that. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll cast an Opt and bounce your other big thing. Okay, cool. And eventually you're just casting so many things that you're like, okay, you're all out of cards to bounce and play, so I gotta go to lands. Sorry. And then you just win from there. So yeah, I mean, you're probably gonna win anyways because you already have demolished their boards. But yeah, for this amazing finisher / combo card, go pick it up. It's absolutely a steal at 79 cents. Moving on to some enchantments, though. Let's talk about Jace's Sanctum, an enchantment for 4 mana in blue. Instant source spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Whenever you cast an instant source spell, scry 1. This card is absurdly good in any kind of a spellslinger type strategy. It helps out in 2 major ways. Again, reducing the cost of your spells. That's probably the bigger way, in my opinion, where, yeah, you're getting so much value out of, oh, that costs less now? Okay, cool. That did cost 2, but now it costs 1. Awesome. Oh, like my Frantic Search. It costs less now. I actually gain mana from that as well. This is going to be saving you so much mana throughout the game. It is absolutely crazy. And of course, on top of that, again, the Scrying 1, that isn't card advantage, but it is amazing card selection that helps you get rid of dead cards that you would be drawing and say, you know what, oh, let's dig down into the actual cards that I need. This card, for some reason, this version of it is just 73 cents right now. The other versions of it are up to like $3 or so. So yeah, make sure you pick this one up before that price goes back up. Next up, an incredibly brutal card that can change the entire game. Death Pits of Wrath. This card is not for the faint of heart. It's an enchantment for 80 cents that costs 5 mana in black. Whenever a creature is dealt damage, destroy it. It can't be regenerated. The regeneration's kind of funny when it actually comes, up. When someone's like, I never regenerate. Oh, I can't. No, it doesn't work. Okay, anyways. This is a card that's just like, you know what? Hey, anything gets hit at all, no matter what amount of damage it is, it's taking out. Obviously, in some kind of like a group sluggy type approach where you have like maybe some ping effects, yeah, you can really take advantage of this even more. But even outside of that, if you just have like a go wide strategy with like a bunch of small creatures, this can be so impactful for you as well. Basically, again, everything has death touch, essentially, is like, oh, okay, cool. Everything's got death touch. This is on an enchantment that is, in my opinion, the hardiest thing out there, the most hard thing to deal with typically when it comes to a permanent type. And it says, you know what? Everything's got death touch. That's awesome because I've got a bunch of tiny, small creatures that I don't care about, all right? Like, I mean, I care about them, but, like, you care more about, like, your giant Eldrazi that I paid so much mana for. Oh, wow. Okay, my little 1/1 can take it out. My tiny little soldier can take that out. Great. Okay, so try to swing at me, or I'm going to swing at you, and you can't block. So this kind of makes, in a way, like your creatures, again, for certain types of strategies that like go wide, kind of unblockable in certain circumstances because the opponent's not willing to lose out on those creatures. Or again, it makes it impossible for opponents to swing at you as well because, hey, I've got creatures that I'm going to block with. Keep in mind, though, this really hits home. This really does amazing work with an indestructible type strategy. If you've got, say, like a Voltron commander that is indestructible, hey, guess what? It's going to get destroyed. Oh, wait, it can't be destroyed because it's indestructible. So you can really take advantage of this and make the effect basically asymmetrical, where all your opponents, if any damage is dealt to any of their creatures, it really messes up all of their combat, essentially. They get taken out, and you're like, yeah, I'm not going to worry about that. I don't care. Also, keep in mind, First Strike works incredibly well with this, too. There's so many different avenues to take advantage of this, and your opponents, this completely changes the game for them and throws their entire plan out the window. Let's take a look at the next card, though, and you might not have known this one exists, Fanatical Devotion. This 75-cent gem is an enchantment for 3 mana in white. Sacrifice a creature, regenerate target creature. Now, this is something that is very atypical in mono white. A free sacrifice outlet is basically unheard of. That's just not part of mono white's color identity, basically, for the most part. Typically, when it comes to like free sacrifice outlets, it's like, okay, black, yes, red a little bit, I guess, and green a little bit, I guess, but like definitely not blue and definitely not mono white. So with this, you're like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, in a deck where you might not think you've got access to some free sacrifice outlets that you need, or you need a bit more, great. And also on top of that, of course, it is a very relevant free sacrifice outlet. Sacrifice a creature, save a creature. Unless Death Pits of Wrath is in play again with the regenerating, but still. This typically is a great way to save basically any of your creatures, again, at the cost of sacrificing a much lesser creature. So again, if you've got a go-wide strategy, if you've got especially an aristocrat-style strategy, save your key pieces on the board, save your commander, get rid of the creatures you want to get rid of, and again, do it freely and whenever you want. It's a crazy good card for those strategies. Basically, protection meets free sacrifice outlet. Absolutely huge for those decks. Pick it up. Moving on. Again, when it comes to like different versions of cards, again, I don't care what they look like. You might not like the way that this one looks, but you're gonna like the price tag on it. 80 cents for Sylvan Anthem, which is a crazy good card for a green deck. If you've got a green deck, I'm not saying it's an auto-include. I'm saying that it's a... You gotta argue a lot to be like, yeah, I actually don't need it. Which you might not, but if you've got like a creature-based green deck, you probably want to utilize this one. It's quite the good card. Enchantment for 2 mana in green. Green creatures you control get +1/+1. Whenever a green creature enters the battlefield under your control, scry 1. This is absurdly efficient. Again, when it comes to, I mean, previously we finally just got like that Selesnya enchantment that is an anthem for 2 mana. Previously, anthems are like 3 mana at least, right? When it comes to like pumping your entire team. This one is specific to green creatures, but again, if you're in a green deck, you have green creatures. That's what you have. Cool, good for you. So, being able to actually, again, pump your entire team for just 2 mana, lovely, check. On top of that, amazing card selection. Again, I already talked about how Scry isn't card advantage, but it's incredible card selection. Helps you get dead cards off the top of your library or know what you're going to draw into as well, which can change your plans, can help you out. It's an amazing card. Again, super efficient, helps out in so many ways. If you've got a green deck, pick it up. Time to shift gears, though. One that I think is a very underrated card at the same time, Sarah's Blessing. Again, it might not seem like much, but this can completely change the game for you. This 80-cent card is an enchantment for 2 mana in white, and it says, creatures you control have vigilance. Very simple, very effective. Now, there are a lot of different Anthem-type cards out there that grant different things, like, oh, Menace or Trample or whatnot. Vigilance is one that I think is pretty underrated because, again, it changes your entire outlook on how you can go about combat. It allows you to be super hyper aggressive. Again, if a player is just open, you have absolutely no reason not to swing with a creature if you have the opportunity to swing with a creature, unless you're making some kind of a deal. And that can actually give you, again, some political power over that opponent where you make that kind of a deal. So being able to, again, just say, okay, whenever I want to, I can swing out with my team, and I can then keep them back for defense as well. That completely changes your combat in a way that many other keywords, on Anthem effects don't necessarily do. So yeah, this card, again, can be great for a strategy where it's creature-based, go wide, heavy defense, or yeah, just aggressive as well. Make sure you pick it up. Onward we go to some instants, and first up we've got Rite of Harmony, an instant for 2 mana in Selesnya. Whenever a creature or enchantment enters the battlefield under your control this turn, draw a card, and you can flash it back as well. This card is super good in low-to-the-ground creature strategies, token strategies, enchantress strategies, blink strategies. So many strategies out there can utilize a card like this because it literally is just a card that you just cast and you're like, okay, cool. For the rest of the turn, I'm just like, yep, every creature just drawing me an absurd amount of cards. So you can do it again as well. It is an amazing card engine for you. I do say engine, but it's more like a one-off engine that you can utilize a second time. It is crazy good in the amount of value it can get for you for the right deck out there. Again, instant speed, so out of nowhere you can get value. Again, if you're like, before my turn, cast this, cast Secure the Waste, have a giant army, and also draw a ton of cards and basically refill my entire hand. Yeah, it can help you out so much. Go pick it up, just 76 cents. All right, buckle up for this next one. Speaking of massive card advantage, yeah, Return of the Wild Speaker has returned to budget pricing, 75 cents for this amazing card. This card, I mean, has been flying up and down essentially with reprints or not being reprinted and been like, you know, a $2-3 card at times too. Just 75 cents right now. Pick it up while you can. Instant for 5 mana in green. Choose one. Draw cards equal to the greatest power among non-human creatures you control. Or non-human creatures you control get +3/+3 until end of turn. Again, sure, is there going to be like, well, I'm playing a human deck. Yeah, don't do that. Well, my commander is my biggest creature, but it's human. Okay, fine, well, like, ignore that. But, like, what you care about with this card is literally, it's 5 mana, instant speed, probably draw like 5+ cards. Alrighty, just there, that's crazy good. And of course, it only gets better than that depending on the commander that you have, or the strategy that you have, or the power that you have. The high power strategy, it's like, okay, 5 mana, draw 10 cards, instant speed. You can't get that kind of efficiency basically anywhere. Also, on top of that, again, it is a flexible game-ending card for you. You might swing through with your army, and your opponent's like, oh, they're just a bunch of 1/1s. Okay, like, I'll take the damage, whatever. Yeah. And you're like, okay, pump my team. You're gone. What? No! Yeah, basically. Or again, if they do block, it's like, okay, out of nowhere, pump the team, and then all of a sudden their blocks become detrimental to them, and they lose their creatures. So, yeah, it's a crazy good card. There's a reason why it sees so much play, and now it's just 75 cents. Pick it up. Here comes a spicy one, though. Collective Resistance. In my opinion, one of the best uncommons printed lately. It's an instant for 2 mana in green. You escalate it for a single green mana. Choose one or more. Destroy an artifact. Destroy an enchantment. Target creature gains Hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. This card is so good. When it comes to, okay, what do I want out of removal in green at 2 mana, instant speed? Destroy an artifact. Destroy an enchantment. Third option. This says, hey, you know what? You can actually get all those options, or 2 of the options, whatever you want, just by paying some extra mana. And on top of that, the third option is absurdly good. It is protect something from basically anything. Okay, there are certain things that can, you know, like, oh, like, again, like an edict if I can get around it. Sure, but most of the time, it's like, basically, do I need to protect, again, usually my commander or whatever key piece? Cool, I can do that with this for 2 mana if I need to, or get rid of some things. It's a crazy, flexible, amazing card. Just 78 cents. Pick it up. Next up, not sure if you've heard of this card, though, but Swords to Plowshares. There you go. Instant for a single white mana. Exile target creature. Its controller gains life equal to its power. 79 cents. I'm not sure why, but this version of it, the brand new version of it that just got printed, dropped its price down to just 79 cents, which is crazy. I mean, I'm sure why, because it got reprinted, but all the other versions are still like $3-4 or so. Yeah, while you can, pick up this card. Obviously, it is a staple in Commander for a reason. Super low to the ground, removal, it's just 1 mana, get rid of anything permanently, get around indestructibility, and the downside is you give them life. Oh no, the player who's got 40 life is at 45 now. Oh darn. Yeah, Commander, it doesn't matter. Giving life to people doesn't matter at all. And in fact, sometimes this could actually save yourself. Again, if a player is swinging for lethal at you, and you're going to lose the game, and you're like, oh, well, actually, I can exile my own creature and gain life equal to its power and actually save myself. There are opportunities where that can just turn a game around for you and you can end up winning. So yeah, pick this gem up. But now let's move on to some sorceries. And first up, we've got Day of Judgment, a sorcery for 4 mana in white, destroy all creatures. Again, some players out there don't necessarily like the white bordered versions of cards either, or like, again, it's like that you know, the question mark goofy symbol on it. Who cares? I mean, you might care. Mystery Booster 2, whatever it is. This card is just 70 cents right now. This card is never 70 cents. When it comes to like board wipes, yeah, I mean, Wrath of God obviously is better. It takes, you know, into account regenerating creatures, but again, here's the thing. We've talked about this before. Typically, things aren't regenerating, so that really doesn't matter all that much. This is a very budget-friendly Wrath that is, of course, very good. 4 mana to destroy all creatures, that is the expectation. 70 cents for this one right now. Make sure you pick it up. But then we've got a very specific card with Buried Alive. And yes, this is not for every deck out there. Sorcery with 3 mana in black. Search your library for up to 3 creature cards. Put them in your graveyard. Then shuffle. 72 cents for this amazing card. Again, not for every deck. You don't just chuck this into a deck and say, here we go. All right. I went and got my 3 best creatures and I put them in my graveyard. And your opponent goes, why'd you do that? And I said, I don't know. Actually, I don't have any way to get them back. Yeah, for decks that obviously can get them back out, can cheat them into play, want them in the graveyard for another reason, if they're like Anger or Wonder, etc. Yeah, this is an incredible 3 mana, tutor up 3 things card, which is just insane for the right strategy out there. If you got one of those strategies, great, go get it. If you don't get it. Get ready for what's coming next, because Twilight's Call is just 77 cents right now. A sorcery for 6 mana. You may cast it any time, cast an instant, basically give it flash by paying 2 more. Each player returns all creature cards from their graveyard to the battlefield. Now, this is not an asymmetrical effect. It is very much a symmetrical effect where everyone gets the benefit. That being said, again, if you've got a deck that is built around the graveyard, again, maybe utilizing a card like, Buried Alive, getting creatures in your graveyard, milling things in your graveyard, sacrificing things to get them into your graveyard, maybe exiling your opponent's graveyards, of course, you can get a lot more value or all the value out of this card that your opponents are not getting. This can be a game-ending, game-winning card for you, and absolutely nothing, or just very little for your opponents as well. It is a huge card that many players don't even know about, actually, because there's not too many ways to just reanimate everything without, having a massive downside to them. This is a downside, sure, but obviously there are ways where you can take the most advantage of it and have it as all upside for you. If you've got a graveyard-centric deck, pick it up. Wait until you see this next one, because Treasure Vault is just 79 cents right now. My goodness. Artifact, land, tap, spray colorless, pay XX and tap and sacrifice it, create X treasure tokens. This is a crazy good land. There's only so many lands out there that are like, hey, I can net you extra mana. There's only so many out there that actually do in good ways. This one has basically no downside to start. Also, keep in mind it is an artifact, which does make it, yes, susceptible to more removal, but typically players aren't just destroying lands out there. But also, it can benefit you for, like, an artifact-centric deck where, like, hey, the number of artifacts in play, or affinity for artifacts, this counts. Most importantly, though, again, hey, it just taps for a colorless. There's no, enters battlefield tapped. It's not slow. Sure, it's not helping you fix your mana, but again, for a 0 color, 1 color, 2 color deck, it's like, okay, yeah, I can utilize a couple utility lands, even a 3 color deck. And also, you just basically save all your mana up at some point, and at instant speed, right before your turn, you can be like, okay, I sacrifice this land for a lot of mana into that X and make like 5 treasures for my next turn. Just have a giant burst of mana to get way ahead of my opponents to then take over the game. Yeah, not many lands can do that. This one can. Make sure you pick it up. Finally, though, Muraganda Raceway. Somehow, this version is just 77 cents for a card that should not be that cheap. A land that says start your engines, you can tap for a host, and its max speed is tap for 2. Now, start your engines. Yeah, some decks are going to be more effective at that, obviously, getting to your max speed of 4. That being said, if you're in a colorless deck already, unless you literally have, like, no ways to make your opponents, like, lose life on your turn or whatnot, which you probably do. You probably have creatures, maybe. Hey, yeah, it's really hard to argue against a card like this just for a color strategy, but for, other decks as well, if you're looking for a land that can tap for more than 1, this will get you there eventually, and unlike, no offense to players out there who like Temple of the False God, I do not like that card at all, really, and I think that it's overplayed. This is so much better than that, because this has, again, at least a floor where you can have it tap for mana. You're not waiting to get 5 lands in play, which might never come in certain strategies. If you're like, oh, I have 4, I'm gonna get there. Oh, I didn't get there. Oh, no. Yeah, make sure you check out my Worst Staples episode and see my thoughts on that. That being said, again, this is one that eventually will basically double up in value for you, and it will stay there. Again, this literally can tap for 1. Eventually, it's going to be able to tap for 2. And again, it doesn't come into play tapped. It's not a slow land. It doesn't help you fix your mana. But if you're in a 0, 1, I say 0, it's colorless, but colorless 1 or 2 color deck, and you can utilize some utility lands, yeah, it could be a very good card for you. Make sure you check it out and check out all the other cards I've talked about in this episode. There is a link to this card list in the comments below. Sorry, comments, description, maybe the comments as well. And with that, this episode is coming to a close. Make sure you comment below with your thoughts on this one. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.